to tea time.
Um,
Oh, Jackie is in here. She said, "Happy Teachers Appreciation to all the teachers." Hey, Jackie, Jackie,
hey
Jackie, Jack.
Jackie, what
Yes,
up?
you can catch her on Ladies' Night.
Yes, be sure to do that. And on the brand new TGN Latin X.
Yes, shout out.
Yes. So make sure you tune in to Ladies Night and all of the other brand new podcasts coming to TGN Latinx.
Yeah, she says, "I have many friends and family that work in education, and I already be knowing how it is."
Oh,
Yes, child.
girl, you already know.
Hard work,
So
child.
we deserve.
Mm-hmm.
We deserve. Yeah.
Yes, just drop them off some gift cards. Would
Well,
you?
I mean, why
Send
not?
them some e-gift cards or something. Would you?
Just cash app your local friendly educator.
She said, "I love my besties. We love you too,
Oh,
Jackie, Jackie,
love
Jackie,
you.
Jackson."
Yes, yes, love you. All right.
So now it is time for tea time.
It
We're
is.
talking about anxiety.
We are. Oh my gosh. Anxiety is so weird. Just like what in our chemical like composites be like, yeah, whatever it's called, like, yeah, just feel like doubt. Like I don't even understand anxiety. It's such a weird emotion. It's so weird.
Well, how does it feel?
So anxiety for me feels so I get very anxious and I know that I'm anxious. Like I'll just feel like kind of tight and I'll feel like jittery, like I need to do it but I just can't move, so it's kind of like stifling for me. Like I get so anxious where I just feel like I have all this energy and I'm just stuck in that energy. So it's really weird and it comes and and it probably hit me this weekend. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go here, but then I'll just get so anxious about going out where I'm just like, okay, I can't even make it there and I'm just gonna stay in the house because that makes me feel better.
So anxiety, let's just get the general definition out the way first. A
Here we
feeling
go.
of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a desire to do something, but it's typically accompanied by unease. And then there's a nervous disorder characterized by a state of excessive uneasiness and apprehension, typically with compulsive behavior or panic attacks.
Mm, that sounds severe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that one is that last one is a bit that's actually the it's under psychiatry.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
So
ooh.
that has a different compartment, right?
Okay.
So I think that anxiety is something that everyone can feel,
Yeah.
right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
can be anxious,
Yeah.
and some people tend to be more anxious people, right?
Yeah.
And then some people actually have an anxiety disorder,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
So it's definitely levels to this.
There's
Um,
levels.
yeah. So I feel like I fall in like the regular normal anxiety. I do get anxious a lot, but I also think that that's the Capricorn in me too. Like I just want things to go the way that they go. And if they don't, then I'm really like what to do. Like I get
Wait, you're like what? Say that again.
yeah, like get stuck in it and I'm just like, okay, like just calm down. Like sometimes I literally have to tell myself to like just calm down, like stop and calm down and take a few minutes and then get back together. I think I talked about this before on a podcast. It's making me think because I'm an educator and I work at a school. But it was right before, so in Wisconsin we have to do these big tests like every term. So like fall, winter, and spring, whatever. So I had forgot to import like all of my students in our testing thing. Woo! Talk
And it was
about
test day,
and
and
it
you were
was
like,
test
and you were like, all right, kids,
day.
you got your number two pencils. Are you ready to go? And they were like, go do what? We don't
Oh my
have.
god!
There's nothing for us to do.
There was nothing.
You didn't set it up.
I didn't set not a test up for none of the kids. Talk about being anxious. So literally, like 5 minutes before the test was supposed to start, I'm on my computer like, get all the kids in. I gotta do it. Like about to pull all my hair out. Like talk about being very anxious that you was about to just mess up your whole data point because you ain't entered nobody's kid to do this testing. So that was crazy. So that was an anxious that I put upon myself because I didn't do what I was supposed to
Oh,
do.
that's good. Self-induced
Oh
anxiety.
yeah.
Oh, I did that to myself this
Yes.
morning.
What you do?
Child. So okay. So, I'm in this new role and they threw me on this project. And they gave me these action items to do, and I was like, it's nothing on my whole pen right here.
I can do this in my sleep.
And then, but remember, I'm new in this role, so there's a lot that I just don't know. And so we had a meeting at 8 o'clock at 8 a.m. and I got up and I was like, I can do my action items. And they were real simple, right? But I was just like, I don't even know where to go to gather this information. So I was able to figure everything out and import everything where it needed to be or whatever. So it was cool. But I was like, why did we put this on ourselves? Why did we wait till 7 a.m. to figure out what we needed to do at 8 a.m.?
Yes.
When you don't know this space. Mm-hmm. Like you don't. The good news is though, is that shout out to Bridget. Okay. Bridget Whitaker.
Okay.
Who you may have seen several times on this podcast.
We love Bridget.
Always here dropping gems. So go back and listen to every episode that she was ever on. Okay. It will bless your life. But in any case, she invited me to this women's devotional that's happening every single morning, I believe, for 30 days. Now, I'm trifling, and today's the third day. And today was my first day.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hey, because today's Monday.
Hey.
And, when y'all start things on, what I feel is a weekend.
So,
on the weekend, I have no structure, no boundaries, no nothing.
Yeah.
So it just didn't work for me.
Right.
But boy, did I miss out, because today they came with it. So I was sitting here trying to figure everything out, and I was like, at first I was very anxious, but then I became very much at peace. Nice. I was like, you know what? Is anybody going to die?
Listen,
bro, no.
Ooh, what a way to start your Monday, though.
Right. So I feel like, and I wrote her on Facebook today, and I was like, thank you for inviting me. I missed the first couple of days, and I hear they're going to send us a playback, so I'm going to be listening to that.
Nice.
But I was like, this will never happen for the rest of this devotional. For the rest of these 30 days, I will be present.
Get it in.
Okay. Because I was at peace.
Hey, so that's how you start your week now.
And that aligned with the whole conversation that I was having with my sorors on the track.
Nice.
We was like, we going where the peace resides.
Hey, that sounds like, a good word to live by at this point. Peace.
Where the peace resides.
Yes. Only where the peace
Forget where the money resides and everything else. I want to be where the peace resides.
Right, because the peace, that's more money, more problems. So definitely need to be where the peace resides.
Yes.
I love that. But yes, self-induced anxiety. I tend to do that a lot, especially when it comes to stuff that I know is happening. Like, say, even when we went to Atlanta, I knew that trip was happening. I knew that I needed to do stuff, but I still always wait till the last minute to do stuff like, oh, I got to get my nails done, or I want to do this, and then the person that I want to do those services doesn't have any openings, and then I'm like, oh my God.
And then you become devastated.
Yes.
Like, why me?
How could you be booked up? Just be really sad. Oh my goodness. Or just silly things, like my mom's birthday. I know her when her birthday is every year, because it's never changed. It's the same day. Every year, it's not gonna change. And I will still wait till the last minute, oh, I didn't make this appointment for her to do this, or I didn't buy this cake that I wanted to get because I waited till the last minute. So then I get anxious, okay, where can I find a cake? This is crazy. So yeah, the self-induced anxiety is a real thing. And I do it from time to time.
So what I'm hearing from both of us is just lack of planning at this point.
Oh, that is absolutely, yes.
That'll take care of our little anxiety.
It would.
I will say this though, with all of our trips, I was very anxious, not because of appointments or anything, but I was just I think that the first trip was my mom's birthday trip, and I knew that it was a real pandemic.
Yeah,
and things were happening, and people were being impacted, and I ended up losing my uncle, and so it was just are we gonna make it? And then we had a COVID scare. My stepmom ended up getting COVID, and I was literally over there at her house, and my niece. I have a video of my niece kissing me all over my face, and I was like, oh my God! And I know, she'd be all over my stepmom's face, right? Yeah. She's a little
baby,
right? So I'm like, I got the COVID.
That is not funny, but that does really make you anxious for sure.
Not, but I was absolutely anxious, and then I was like, dude, I'm going to ruin my mom's birthday trip because now we can't go.
Yeah,
but then when Mama called me and said, "Don't you ruin my birthday trip."
Said, come hell or high water, we on.
Yeah, I texted her. I was like, Mom, there's a COVID scare. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it because you're not supposed. If you came in contact with someone, you're not supposed to do this. And she was like, "Don't you ruin my birthday?"
Right. Said, don't say nothing else. This conversation has ended. Right.
I said, "Shut up."
I can't.
But and then too, I was like, okay. Then I was trying to tell y'all, like, okay, are y'all coming? Do I cancel the whole thing? Like, what do I do? So then from that point going forward, every trip that we took, I just became very anxious, like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, what's gonna ruin the trip, basically. And with every trip, almost, except for Atlanta, she was out to ATL.
Oh, no.
Atlanta gave everything, honey.
It was supposed to have game.
Everything. But no, like there's just been little things that happen, like people tested positive or just different things happening just to keep people from coming. Which, hey, if it's for the better, it's for the better, right?
Yeah.
But it just made me very anxious. So like Atlanta, when I tell you, woo,
yeah. Yeah. I think that was the only trip where everybody was good. Like we were just
everybody was present in the counter.
Yeah.
Full attendance.
Yes. Here, everybody was here. So
here, present, here.
That was the only one. Because all the other ones we had some scares.
And it's so funny because I was like, oh, okay. Like, because you was texting like, okay, I'm getting on the plane. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm like, all right, everybody's good. Me and Brittany here. Da, 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 da. And then Scarlett was like, so we landed in, where was it to get gas?
They landed somewhere
in Alabama.
Crazy.
Or
it was like somewhere crazy.
And I was like, Lord.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, why would they do that?
I was like, Lord, if she be stuck in Alabama, I don't know what I'm going to do because we're having her party.
Yeah, without her. That would have been funny. We had this party without her, okay? But yeah, that was a trip. So that was like the only hiccup that had happened.
Right, yeah. And it actually worked out because, I wanted her to have a little delay anyway, so we could decorate. So,
yay. See?
Yeah, it worked out.
It always works out. So, how are you feeling about the pandemic? Like, how was your anxiety dealing with that?
In the beginning, to be honest, I had zero anxiety. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about none. Like, I think that initially, unfortunately, the perception was this is this thing that's out there in other countries, right? It's in China.
Yeah.
And it made its way over to Europe, specifically Italy. Yeah. You can't travel there. Like that's really what it was for me. It was more so where I cannot go.
Right.
And I was like, cool.
Right. Because I wasn't going there anyway. So
I was, but it's still cool.
Oh yeah. You were. Yeah.
I was, but it's all right. That's okay. But then when they came over here, then it was like cruises, and it was like, well, thank God I didn't go on that cruise, right? It was more like that. But then when bodies just start dropping left and right, then that's when I was like, that's when I became very anxious and became very like, sanitize everything, do all of this, do all of that, like, don't go nowhere, don't breathe. Why you coughing like that? You're breathing too hard. Don't smile. What you doing? Close your mouth. What you do? You just spreading fluids is what you do. So. Yeah, that's when I became very I became such a germaphobe.
Yeah. I think for me,
I became very anxious about my mom because I felt like she didn't get it.
Because she was like still working and stuff. Albeit she works at a pharmacy too. Yeah, so right. Yeah.
But she was just like, just wash your hands. You do it. It's not a big deal. I mean, you just be clean.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mother, she's like, so I gotta go to Target. Why are you going to Target?
Girl,
sit down.
Man.
You know Amazon?
Listen.
Amazon.
That was definitely my mama. Like at the store every day.
For no reason. Lollygagging. Oh, just looking at the produce. Girl, sit down.
Right. I'm like, you're already in the age bracket where this is what you want.
Exactly. Like, so I basically had to tell my mama that she was up. Okay.
Man. Every day I was like, so you just gonna keep going outside. Like this is what we doing here.
Girl.
Okay. I think at the beginning too, I was kind of oblivious to it. I was just like, oh, it wasn't going to be as big as it was, I guess, because we never experienced anything like this. So
not in this generation.
So in my thinking, I'm just like, okay, we're gonna have a few days off. Whoop, whoop.
Right, exactly. it really just was. It was more like rest.
Yeah, that is what it felt like
a
to
nice
me.
Little break.
Like whoop whoop, and we were like right before spring break too, so it like fell perfectly for me as a teacher because I didn't really have to worry. But then when they kept extending the stay-at-home order through like April and May, and that's when I was like, all right, like what is really going on? And then, you know, my boss is getting stressed out because she's like, okay, what are we about to do for these kids? Like, we gotta figure something out. So that's when the anxiety started to pump into me, because I'm like, we have students that we have to get together and make sure that they got what they need and making sure that they're doing well, or, you know, because school just don't stop, whether people wanted to believe that or not. Like, it didn't just stop. Like, we were still responsible for stuff. I wish we could have, but no, you know, districts and DPIs were still like, all right, you still got to do your part. So that's, I think, when I started to get really anxious, because I'm like, how am I going to do this from home? Like, what is this going to look like? And, you know, just being afraid to go into work because you didn't know at that point, like, what's going to happen. And then, you know, you, like you said, you start to see, like, bodies dropping and people you know are getting sick and infected.
And I watched, was it Containment?
Oh, no, you can't watch movies like, what, you watch Contagion? I think it's like Contagion or something.
Something like that, child. Yes, the Netflix.
That one is scary.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, you cannot watch stuff like that. That's like Outbreak. That one too.
Wait, no, what's the one where they were in Atlanta?
I think that's Contagion. What is it? It's like Contagion. Somebody in the chat tell us if you know. I'm like, what is it called? But that's a scary one. Outbreak is scary too. So yeah, you can't watch movies like that because then you'd be like, what is
it's probably like Containment.
It probably is like Containment, girl, best. But that's when I started to get anxious about it, just seeing people that I know getting sick, seeing people, you know, that you know pass away. So I was just like, this is really a lot.
Yeah, when people was passing away, then I was just like, yeah, this is too much.
It was a lot.
This is just too much. And now, actually, a lot of people, when they're getting the second dose of the vaccine, if they had the virus, it is taking them out.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody else and we were talking about that, and they were saying that their second dose, they said they weren't affected by it and they thought it was weird because they were like, well, I already had tested positive for COVID in the past, and then my second dose didn't really affect me. But they said that, yes, it is really affecting people who have previously had COVID, which is interesting, because, yeah, it's like vaccine is a trip too, but that definitely during the pandemic, in the midst of it, because it's still a pandemic right now. It's not over. I don't think the CDC didn't declare it like, or the world, whatever, they didn't declare like this was over, right? It's still happening.
No, they declared it was over in Atlanta. Atlanta said we have defeated COVID. I heard Florida been banned with Georgia and said we too have defeated COVID. Texas never had COVID.
I was just thinking that it was Texas, Atlanta,
even
and
though
Florida.
They were number one in deaths. They said, forget what the data says. We know our people. We know our cop. Right?
Texas
like,
forever succeeded on people. Like, we ain't even with y'all anyway, so it don't matter.
So yeah,
it's crazy. But no, we're still in the midst of it, I think.
And people are still dying.
Yes, every day. So
you know, because remember the goal was to slow the spread, not necessarily to like stop it. So it's slowed,
which is crazy. So that was my height of my anxiety, like in the thick of it. I think summertime, where I was really like,
look, let me tell you something. Now, when I see people do things with their hands, like when people touch their nose, when people like lick their fingers, when people eat stuff, and the way that people eat, I'll be like, oh my God, you're disgusting, you animal.
And then they don't like sanitize or something.
You didn't even wash.
Yes, none of that.
And then you're just gonna touch everything else.
It's so crazy. Yeah,
it's so, and it's weird because when I watch like old like movies or like old shows, and I see the things that people like, how people interact and how close they get, I'd be like, oh my God.
That's the same thing with me.
This is sick.
Watching movies and TV shows, I'm like, dang, remember we could just hug each other or like just embrace it.
I posted something and it was like a little kid blowing over a birthday cake, and he was like, man, we did some wild stuff back in 2019, man.
Like, you just gonna blow over a whole cake, and we all gonna eat it.
And everybody, you gonna cut that thing and distribute it evenly amongst dozens and dozens.
So crazy. So crazy. It's so funny because a young scholar in my school today was coughing, and we was all like, No, okay. You cough about 2-3 times, you gotta go home. And we immediately called
I coughed, not even a real cough. I swallowed some water down the wrong pipe, and your son gave me the death stare of my life. I said, well, okay. Well, clearly I'm no longer welcome. I'm no longer welcome in his presence at this table or at this event.
Jesus. Yeah, he really like looked at you like, no.
Yeah, he was like, and then he looked around like, so ain't nobody gonna say nothing about the fact that she just coughing like this. Man.
Oh man, yeah, you can't even cough. Like you will probably kill yourself trying to stop a cough before you let out a cough in today's time.
We took my niece to the what we call, I forget what it's we call it playground. That's what she calls it. So, and she loves it. Like that's her happy place. Like she goes buck wild in there. Okay, I mean like she can't even focus on one thing at a time. She like play with them for 3 seconds, go to the next thing, go to the next. Like she's so excited. Aww. And so she saw this really cute little girl, and she ran up to her, looked at her, ran over to me, and said, "Can I touch her?" And I was like,
right. No, you don't know
that. But she knew, like, I better ask somebody.
That is so smart.
Because you can't just be touching people no more.
We can't. Mm-hmm. Like, we absolutely cannot. Just
said, "Can I touch her?" I was like,
Yes. And it's so crazy.
Look, you can look at that cute little girl. You better not touch her.
Y'all better air her or,
right.
Fist
I don't know what toddlers do, but all I know is she better not touch you and you better not touch her. How about that?
Listen, but that's a part of our new anxiety. I feel like now we just have like close contact with people. Like you can't do that.
Like no one believes in that.
Yeah.
I will say this though, what I'm loving about restaurants now, when they have their face covered and they serve me my food, I eat that thing with confidence.
Yes. That is true. So we was living wild before that.
I'm talking about wow.
People just breathing on our food.
I'm talking about just particles of just mucus and just saliva everywhere, child. It's just nasty.
Talking over my food.
Talking over it, child. Just real nasty. Real wild. It's like we didn't care.
We did not care about our life.
Disgusting. But when I see chefs and cooks in the back with their mask on, I'll be like, look at God.
It is great. Yes.
I'm going to enjoy this meal.
Yes. I think masks, period. Like people who do when I get my eyebrows threaded or like people who do my hair, like put your mask on and keep it on. Yes. Like don't be in my face talking.
Yes,
like,
I love it. Because I don't really like people in my space. No way. Like if I don't know you, like why are you this close?
Exactly. Like y'all really be like
if you're this like you too close.
Yes. Yes. And I loved it at the grocery store. If people not all up on you trying to put their stuff on a conveyor belt, like you gotta give me 6 feet. Like back up and give me my 6 feet.
You saw the sign.
Right. And then it's your turn. But I feel like before that people just used to be so close at the grocery. Why are you so close to me?
Yeah.
So yes, I'm very thankful for that.
I am. I'm like, I finally get my bubble. The bubble that I've been fighting for through my whole life. I finally get it.
Yes. So when they open back concerts and they pass out like bubbles for us to individually go in to go to a concert, that would be cool. Because I don't like that either. People be too close at concerts.
They do. They really do be too close.
That's my anxiety. Of people being too close. But it's gonna be interesting to see, how children deal with this anxiety and how it manifests as they grow up.
Socially awkward.
That's what I'm thinking too, because they already be on the phones all day.
Well, and I'm gonna have to tell you when my niece starts school how she does with it. But that's what we're a little bit concerned about,
Definitely let me know, and that was our thing too. Again, shout out to educators who have to think quickly because you bring in new 4-year-old kindergartners and they've never been to school for the most part. They have no idea what school is, but then they have to go to school on a computer and they see their teacher on the computer. So then in their mind, they're gonna be like, this is normal. Like my teacher's on the computer.
Because that's the file in their head.
That's the file.
Because that's their baseline.
That's it. So then when they actually go to school, a physical building, and see a real person, they're gonna be like, what is this? Like, what is happening? Because the file don't match what I'm seeing right now.
Right.
So that's gonna be a trip.
And then when they're gonna be like, please respond, they're gonna be like,
where do I click? Right. Like, I'm trying to type. I just want to click to you and, tap, and they can't do that.
That is so crazy. So and my niece thinks she want to go to school because she sees it, and other people go to school or whatever. But I'll be like, child, you don't want to go.
Yeah. When she get there, she was like, so where's the computer?
Exactly. Give me my tablet.
I really want to do.
Well, we don't see. I'm excited for her though.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun. That's always exciting, seeing the fresh start.
Girl, I told my sister, I was like, girl, you gonna be there for her, and I'm gonna have to be there for you. Because talk about anxiety.
Yes. Yes. Talk about that mommy anxiety. That's a real thing. Yes, that is a real thing. The whole time that
we were in Atlanta, she was like, pumpkin this and pumpkin that. Let me talk pumpkin. Let me just see it. Let me just look at. And I told her, like, me and my brother and my sister were FaceTiming yesterday. And I was telling my brother, I was like, the first time I kept her, I was like, mind you, I was at my stepmom's house. Right? It wasn't even at my house. And like she kept calling, checking on her all day. Aww. But I was like, that's fine, that's your child. But then like if she couldn't see her, she'd be like, all right, Sherry, like I need to see her. Oh. I'm like, you hear in the background, she's alive.
Right.
I need to see her. And I'm like, okay.
That is funny.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, I feel like a shame mama. Well, my kid is 12 too, so I definitely don't do that anymore.
Used to it, though?
Yeah.
I think it's different when you number one, she has never been anywhere other than with her. Like her coming to Atlanta and being away from her for that many days
was huge.
That was the first and only time that has ever happened. Mm-hmm. So I'm surprised that she made it.
She did. Honest. She did a good job too.
She made it. So this whole going to school every day thing.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, so do you think we can have cameras? How do we do this? Like, we need to figure out a way. And I was like, girl, you're going to be there for her, and I'm going to be there for you.
Be there for her.
I'm going to be like, look, teacher, we need an exit strategy for mom. I'm on your side, teacher.
Right.
I know that she's disrupting your classroom. I see it. She does not. It's okay.
That's going to be an adjustment. That mom anxiety is real. I think I don't get like that now because again, JR is 12, but I do get like that when he's like doing stuff that I can't be there in case something did happen. So like when he goes out of town and I'm not driving with him, that gives me anxiety. So thankfully, the iPhone has a great feature that you can track phones, and I do it very often when my son is on the road.
Talk about a stalker.
Yes, I definitely will stalk if he's on the road because I'm like, but I can't see the car driving, so I feel like I can't protect him, like even though I couldn't anyway if something were to happen, but I just feel like I need to see that he's okay. So I track his phone. I do that. Or if he goes to like water parks or like swimming and stuff, that also gives me anxiety because my son thinks he can swim. He cannot. He loves the water though. Like not afraid of the water. Will jump in the water. Will play in the water. But he just cannot swim. Like that's not what he can do. So I'm always very anxious when people are like, "Can he come swimming with us?" And I'd be like, "I don't know, y'all not gonna save my kid." Like no.
You be like, "Heck no."
Yeah. So I'm like, I usually be like, no. Like if friends have like pool parties, nah, he can't go to that because I don't trust y'all to save my boy, and I ain't gonna be here. So I don't know. He can't go. But if he goes somewhere with his dad, then I'm a little better, but still like not too comfortable because I don't think his dad can swim either. So I'm like,
I have a question.
Yeah. I can swim. I went to a high school that had a pool, and I used to go swimming every summer. So your girl can swim in real life.
All I'm saying is we've been to several destinations with water.
Listen. Well, we ain't been nowhere. I ain't swimming in the ocean.
We just went to Cancun, and I was like, let's get out there. He's like, the water gonna be down, I'm out.
Listen, first of all, pool swimming and ocean swimming is two different things.
They are.
Now, really I'm gonna tread the water, but your girl will probably die in the ocean because it's way.
Now, I don't recall you going past the sand in Miami.
No, that's different that's different.
It is, that's a whole vibe.
But when we were in the pool in Cancun, I was swimming in the pool.
In the pool?
Yes.
You swim in the pool?
I did swim in the pool. I did. I was swimming in the pool. Now the ocean, no, that's a different story. I'm out on the ocean. But if I had to jump out of a boat, because that's what we had to do in high school, I think I would be good.
You said some people
I think I can do that. But when we jumped off the boat in Cancun, I was scared as HE-double hockey sticks because it was real ocean water. Yeah, like that was scary. Yeah. So yes, that's in, like being in water. I think just Black people, we have that psychosis that we scared in the water because of our ancestry. It gotta be. At least for me, I would be like, this ain't it.
What was I? Oh, I was looking at a bunch of cruises.
Oh, Lord.
This was before the pandemic. I was looking at a bunch of cruises, and I was talking to Scarlett, and I was like, oh my gosh, Scarlett, you can take cruises anywhere. There are cruises in Dubai. There's cruises in Africa. Like, there's cruises on every continent. There's cruises in Thailand. Like, we should do this. And she was like, cruises in Africa. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, that sounds way too much like slavery.
Yeah.
Help me out. And I was like, dang.
Can't do a cruise from no African country. Cannot.
She said, so we gonna fly to Africa.
Yeah. To go on a boat.
She was like, it don't sound safe to me. Like, that is hilarious.
Yeah, first of all, that company needs to take that cruise off.
You said the cruise is insensitive. Look, I know you have one on every other continent, but this is one where we do not want that.
Yeah, I might have to write them a letter. Like, I don't know what y'all plan is, but a cruise from Africa going to anywhere sounds racist to me. I don't like it.
It's only racist if it's a black cruise, okay?
I mean, now we talking about the Tom Joyner cruise? I don't know, but that's in America. That would be better.
We ain't talking about the Charles George. That's funny.
I'm not getting on that.
No, I had anxiety when we were in Atlanta. And
really?
My sister wanted to go back home. We was out. It was late.
Okay, yeah.
She was like, no, I'm just going to catch the Uber or the Lyft or whatever.
Yeah, by herself.
It's 7 minutes and da-da-da-da. And I was like, no, I'm going with you. And I was like, and then I'll come back. And then she's like, but then who's going to be with you when you come back? And I was like, all I know is, and she was like, I'm going to FaceTime you the whole time. And I was like, look, because I was thinking, the only thing worse than not knowing what happened to somebody is watching it happen and not being able to do something.
And not doing anything, for sure.
I would die.
Yeah, that would be like the worst thing ever. And then, we on vacation. Like, how do you explain it? Like, I let somebody leave by themselves. Like, what?
Girl, I can't explain it. It don't make no sense. And it goes against the girl code.
It absolutely does.
We leave together. Look, we come together. We leave together. Okay, like, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
So who's gonna come with you? Chanel.
Exactly. Because when I got wind of it, I was like, so you're not gonna go by yourself? Because that's stupid. Right. We might as well just all go. And
everybody's gonna go drop off one person and then we're gonna come back.
We're gonna come back. And it was cool.
They was real
Shout
cool.
out to Magic City, man. I left them some Google reviews and my Google reviews are popping. Like, everybody's liking all my Google reviews.
Did you say how we got they tipped us?
They
got
did.
All the money.
Yes, we had a grand old time there. Shout out to MC. It's a great time. Shout out to everybody who likes my Google review. Make sure you go support that establishment, that Black-owned establishment. You will not be disappointed.
Let's talk about the symptoms of anxiety. So one of them is excessive worrying. I feel like that's where you and I are.
Oh, yes. Worry.
There's also difficulty sleeping and restlessness.
Yeah, I've definitely had that. Especially like before I'm gonna do like a presentation to our board members or something like that I just cannot sleep well. Because I'm thinking about that the whole time. Or even this morning, I could not sleep because I'd be like, oh, I gotta wake up at 5 and go work out. Like, I just can't sleep. Oh, God. So I don't even be sleeping well because I know I gotta wake up and go work out. So, yeah.
You know what? If I'm for a flight, I do have sleep anxiety because there was one trip. I think we were going to North Carolina or South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
I always mix those up.
Y'all was coming to North Carolina and then we went to South Carolina.
That's where you were. Okay. So I missed 3 flights.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. I had to pay for 3 daggone flights to get my butt out there. So I absolutely have sleep anxiety. So if I have a flight, I usually just stay up. I'm not, if it's an early flight, I'm just going to stay up, pack my bag, and just ride it out.
Yeah, sleep on the plane.
Sleep on the plane.
That's crazy.
Because after I missed 3 flights in one day.
Yeah, that you had to pay for.
I was like, right.
Terrible.
Exactly. Shouts out to Capital One.
On the real. Jeez. Your credit card was probably like, what is this is fraud. Like,
exactly. Like, how many times are you going to leave from one place? And this is before they had all that online check-in and all of that. So even though I was there in time for the last one, they were like, you didn't check in by this time, so we are not letting you on.
Oh my God.
Yes. I was like, excuse me?
This is crazy. Like, I've been sitting right here, bro. Let me on here. crazy?
No, I was not sitting right there. I was at home. I just so that's when my sleep will get messed up. But other than that, I usually don't let stuff mess up my sleep. Like anything can go on, and if I'm tired, I don't give.
Said it's a whole fire. Clearly. Yeah. Because even your phone trying to wake you up. Do not care about alarms.
I don't. It just becomes a part of my dream.
A mess. I mean, like, bro.
Even when we stayed in our first apartment buildings on campus.
Oh, yeah.
That fire alarm used to go off so
all
much.
the time.
I don't know what set it off, but it would go off at least 3 or 4 times a week. And I worked third shift, so I would sleep during the day. When that thing would go off, I would be like, I just hope it really ain't no fire because I could not get up. And I would go right back to sleep.
I'm too tired.
Man, and I would tell myself, like, dude, one of these days it's going to actually be a fire.
I mean, because they did convert a dorm into an apartment with real appliances.
Exactly.
It could have been a real fire.
But for some reason, when I'm sleeping, my perception is that nothing else matters.
Hey, that's fair. Because people get tired.
It's not fair. It don't make sense, but that is what it is. I don't know.
It's fair until you're sleeping.
It's fair.
But nah, yeah, I definitely, my sleep will get interrupted like a mug if I'm anxious or worried about something, and I just, will not go to sleep. And I'll be like, bro, and then I'll wake up like, you really just lay there and didn't go to sleep like you should have. I'll be sad. So yes, definitely know about that.
Fatigue. Mm-hmm. So even if the individual manages to get sleep,
wake up tired.
Exactly.
Yes.
So your sleep you'll be dissatisfied or unsatisfied, I should say, with your sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've definitely had moments of that, particularly this morning, where I was just
like emotionally exhausting.
Oh, that's a good one. Emotionally exhausting.
Emotionally exhausting. It can make your day more cumbersome. Mm-hmm. So it can kind of fluctuate your mood.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've ever felt that one.
Emotionally exhausted?
Yeah.
I think I've been emotionally exhausted before.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably could have, and I just was like, this is anxiety. I don't know.
But I think for me, like, my emotional exhaustion is like when there's way too many things going on. Like, like when my dad relapsed.
Oh, yeah.
Was going on. Like, I was like, oh, my God.
That's a good example. Because you was really like, all right. Right. Something's got to get.
Like, oh, my goodness, no.
It was
like, I would call that emotional exhaustion.
That is a great example.
I did not sleep. When I did sleep, I was fatigued. I probably had all of them on this day.
Yeah. That was all the fires at one time.
Concentration issues. Yeah, I failed. Remember, I kept trying to take that exam, and I failed that same exam. Like, I don't know how many times. I was like, clearly, I am not focused. I cannot concentrate. Yeah. Irritability and tension.
Yeah. That was a lot.
Increased heart rate palpitations.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Like, if I'm really anxious, like I said, like, I feel like I be so like, gotta go. Like, I just get really like antsy and like I can't control it. It's so weird. Like, why am I even feeling like this? So I've definitely had the hurt.
They said that it's common during like panic attacks. It also can be experienced by people who have social anxiety disorder.
That would make sense.
I don't think I've ever had a panic attack though.
No. Me either. I've never had a panic attack. No.
Yeah.
Not to, because those seem scary. Like, well, I'm only seeing people have them on TV and movies. So I
was gonna say, I know that. So I was watching How to Get Away with Murder, and when they finally caught all the kids, Connor.
Yep.
They pulled him into the room and they were like, "This is what you're facing," and he straight up had a panic attack.
He like passed out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. I was like, yeah. But I mean, in that situation, I probably would have done the same thing.
Let me tell you something. I'm surprised he even made it to I would have just straight up fainted. Like, as soon as they came to the door and was like, "Yeah, are you Sherry Renee?" I'd be like, just passed right out. Like, no, I can't be right now. I don't know who she is.
I've never seen that woman.
I only rented her body. I don't know that woman. I am not her spirit.
Okay? That woman. Oh my God.
I don't know. This is too much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he did good making it all the way to the precinct, because I think I would have just been like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've only seen a panic attack on like TVs and movies, but it still looks extreme. Like, that looks very scary.
Yeah, I think that looks very, very, very scary because I don't know if it's I guess in my mind it's like so many things are out of control right now.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a grasp,
Yeah.
right? Because it's so far out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine. Because I know when I'm just regularly feeling anxious, that feeling is so like, it's so tight. Like, why do I feel like this? So to have that like multiplied into like panic attack, ooh.
You know what I realized about like the whole tightness thing is that I don't know that it's tight until I let it go. So I think that mine comes like slow. So like I don't usually say like, oh, I'm so anxious right now. You know what I mean? It's not until like I'll be like, oh, and I'm like, oh my god, I was stressing out.
Yep.
And I usually call it stress or something else, right? It wasn't until the whole thing with trying to go to Atlanta that I was like I kept like I would always tell her like I'm just so anxious. I'm just so anxious. And she was like, why? And I explained it to her and she said, that does sound like anxiety.
That is like, so funny.
I guess she was thinking like, I never heard you say that. But I was just like, this is really making me so anxious. And in the big scheme of things, none of this stuff matters.
Yeah.
Like if we don't go to Atlanta, then what then? Like who cares? Like not who cares, but like,
but it's okay.
It's all right.
No, because so
everybody's safe and accounted for.
So here's some retrospect. So
especially during the pandemic, like girl, sit your butt.
What happened? Something. Oh, y'all flight had got changed, and you was like, no, like what am I gonna do? And I was just like. You're gonna relax. Let's start there. Like, first of all, you're gonna calm down. And second of all, we're okay. Like, you're gonna change your flight, is what you're going to do. And you was like,
no, because look, number one, they changed my flight and they put me and my sister on different flights.
Yeah.
And they sent us all around the world in different areas. And I'm like, okay, first of all, my sister is already having a hard time even trying to come on this trip because she has mommy you and I'm trying to separate her from her child for 5 whole days. Okay.
Listen.
You think that she's gonna get on the plane by herself and do this?
Yeah, no.
Oh hell no. And then it just ruined the whole agenda. It had us getting there later, and I'm like, then the Airbnb won't be set up. There will be no decorations. But it's like in the big scheme of things, like F decorations, like you know what I mean.
And it all ended up working out, which I knew it would, because
Oh, and then when I tried to change the flight, it was like so the flights ended up being like $800 and something.
Oh no,
I didn't pay $800 and something when I booked.
Right,
she's a cheap flyer. Okay,
right. Listen,
flyer. So I was like, so I called them. And I was like, no, look, I didn't change the flight. You did. I booked when you said you were available. So this is not on me. This is on you. So all I know is me and my sister need to fly together, and we need to get there by this time. I don't care how you accommodate that. I just need you to make that happen. And they did.
That's right. Yeah, because y'all ain't got a choice. Y'all changed it, so I need y'all to relax. But yeah, so that was funny. Well, it was not funny then, but it's definitely funny now because I was like,
oh why,
relax.
oh why,
yes.
why?
Yes. He was like, oh no, like what time is check-in? I don't think we're having enough time. Like, bro,
you were like.
I was like, oh my
and you were like, no. This is what she did. She said, per the document. I was like, okay. That's where we gonna go.
Because
per the Google Doc. Per the Google Doc.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sherry Renee anxiety was on 10. I'm like,
look, I got your Google Doc.
Woosah, the trip is going to trip. Like it's gonna be a good time.
I think too is because I felt like when we did the planning committee, I was like, oh, we planned the hell out of this trip.
Yeah, we did. Oh, we did
this trip. So then I was like, nothing better come against this trip.
Yeah, we definitely did. We planned like a mug.
I was like, this trip right here,
and we had to see it through.
Goes down in history.
Yeah, we definitely had to see it through. Yeah. But I was just
so then I felt like United was hating. I was like, y'all some hating.
Yeah, United definitely tried to throw a monkey wrench in the plans, but. God don't play about us.
Look at the Lord. He did bless this trip.
He did. He don't play about us. So it definitely worked out. So we got all the anxiety. He do.
Trembling and shaking.
Oh yeah, that sounds like part of that panic attack.
Yeah. The stress associated with anxiety can cause a person's limbs to shake.
Oh my gosh.
Especially their hands.
Wow.
So like tremors.
so
it can
scary.
be similar to that of Parkinson's disease.
That's really scary.
Yeah. It's associated with anxiety, so it's often caused by adrenaline, so like the fight or flight response. Yeah, chest pains and shortness of breath.
Well,
Yeah, they're getting more and more severe as we go down.
Right, I'm like, geez. But that is anxiety, and in talking about this, shout out to Charlamagne, the guy who also always makes sure he talks about anxiety. I think his first book was based on that. But yeah, I love how he uses his platform to talk about mental health and anxiety and how real it is, and even like you just said, like you would feel anxiety, but you would call it something else. So even being able to name and identify what this is and, in that feeling, because I think now too, I'm getting to the point too, where if I do feel anxious, I do try to name it. Whereas before I was just like, I feel so weird. Like, I don't even know what this is. Like,
not weird.
Why do you feel like this, bro? Like, you're going to be okay. So I would just kind of like talk myself out of it. Like, girl, just go, keep going. But now definitely like trying to name it. Like, you're anxious right now. Like, but why are you anxious right now?
Exactly.
Like, I'm talking to myself like through it. Like, well, why are you anxious? Like, what's going on? Like, what can you change or not change? But and trying to put a name and some labels to it.
Yeah. You do be talking to yourself too.
I do.
You do.
Ooh,
look, that's the best conversation.
With yourself.
Is with yourself.
Gotta be getting through.
Feelings of terror or impending doom. These symptoms can be quite severe and paralyzing. A feeling that something bad is about to happen or is in the presence of happening. I'm sorry, in the process of happening can sometimes appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, I do that often too, where I'll just have thoughts and I'm like, that was why? Like, why are you thinking about that?
Girl, I have had that. So that's not my norm, but I will say this. Like, there was a point where there was a situation that was going on where I was being stalked, and then something happened that triggered that feeling, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
it makes you go off the deep end.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're thinking about every possible outcome of this thing that's not really happening, but it could happen because I don't know.
Right.
That's my anxiety said it could, so I don't know.
Exactly. Any opportunity. Like, what about this, what about that, oh my God, and then this, and then that, and then, So,
I definitely have had that feeling. And again, that's why I track my son's phone so often, because I'm like, well, what if he's on the side of the road? Right.
What if he's on the side of, oh, no.
Yeah, I be thinking that, like, okay, his phone, like, because you can see the tracker moving. So I'm like, he didn't move for a while. Like, what's happening? Like, did somebody get him? But yeah, I think that started too when he was at his dad's house and their house got broken into. And then from that point, I was just like, oh my God, my little boy.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's one thing that's what I realized about my stepmom is that, like, if I leave her house and come home and don't call her, and if she calls me and don't answer the phone and say I made it, I'm telling you, off the deep end.
Yeah.
Just
that actually gives me anxiety when you do that too. I'm like,
oh my God, and I do that all the time.
You do,
and so I do that to her too, right?
Yeah.
And she be like,
girl, I'll be like, so dad, you just can't say I'm at home. Like, come on, bro.
It's simple. Just send a home emoji. Like,
that's it. That's all we're asking.
Just give me the bubbles. You ain't even got to say nothing.
Just let me know if you've made it home. Jeez. Like, I really be like in my feelings. And I do that to everybody. Like, I just need to know you made it home. Like, just tell me that.
So is the fear that, like, they're gonna be like, all right, bye, and
you
leave, and then like something happens, and it's like, and I should have checked. Like, do you feel responsible?
I do, because I always feel like I could have helped in some way. Like, I could have been there. I could have done something to make sure you made it home. Because I'm scared. Like, please tell me. Or I'll if I don't like do it right away, I'm definitely doing it. Like, I'm gonna give her like a couple hours. Then I'm like, are you at home?
And you know what?
I know.
I wonder if I think that for me, like, I guess I'm wondering if I were y'all, if I would feel the same way. You know what I mean? Because I think what happens is I'm always the last one to make it home.
Yeah, because
so y'all already be like, yep, made it, and then I just be like,
still driving.
So, but I wonder if, like, if you were the last one to make it home, if I would be like, did you make it? Where are you? Oh my God. Like,
you probably would.
What's wrong with you?
Like, just let me know.
Right.
You probably would feel that way. But again, I do that with everybody. Like, with you, with my mama, with my son. Like, it could be like people who I used to talk to. Like, if I see them in past, I'd be like, hey, I hope they made it home. Like, made it home. Because it's crazy out here.
It is crazy out here.
Like, that's a huge blessing to make it back to your house. Like, a lot of people don't get that opportunity. So I really be like, God, I hope they made it home. So, still weird part of my anxiety.
So, things to do if you are feeling anxious.
Oh, that's good. What do you do?
Stay in your time zone.
What? Stay in your time zone?
Yes, because anxiety is people worrying about the future.
Oh,
so
that's good.
On the present.
You ain't got nothing to be anxious about.
Right, because all the what ifs kind of go away because we're focused on what we're doing right now. Right now, we're doing this podcast. Everything's fine. I might not text you when I get home, but you know what? Actually, now I will because now I know better.
Yeah.
And eventually I do. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I am.
You said, yep, I'm here. I'm here. So, yeah.
Or you'll be like, I saw that you like this.
I swear. Like, I'll notice you on social media. Like, okay, she at home. Like, I can breathe.
I saw that you viewed my story, so
Listen, hey, I take that now because I'm like, she ain't gonna take
that. Could have been the killer.
Hey, you know what? That was on like Criminal Minds or something. Like one of the crime shows, and the dude was like, he takes mom like, I love you, but she was like, he don't say it like
exactly.
That. So that is true.
Exactly, and that's why my stepmom, you texting her, that does not fly.
That is
you
very
can't
true.
even call her because she'd be like, that could be like. You tell her that you made it,
with the gun up to your head. You never know.
Like, nope, you need to FaceTime.
Ooh,
but
that's
for her,
good.
I mean, if your son got murdered one random day, right? He was here 1 second and gone the next.
Yeah,
so
that's anxiety.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So stay in your time zone.
That's good.
Yep. You have to tell yourself, I am safe.
Yeah.
Is there something I need to do right now? If not, make an appointment. Check with yourself later, but stay in your time zone. Relabel what's happening.
Yeah, I think that's so important. Like, you have to.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of times it's our perception of whatever the situation is, right? And like the truth is, like, I'm good. The truth is, share this further. Then you give her 45 minutes.
Exactly. Give her a little bit more time.
She'd be all right.
To make it. That's the truth.
Fact check your thoughts, right? So when we have anxiety, it's because we go to a worst case scenario.
Yep.
But worst case scenario is literally the worst thing that could happen. And it's not likely to happen.
Yeah. Because you made it up in your head.
Right, exactly. It's based off like some movie. It's
yeah.
Like my stepmom saying like, oh, the murderer could have made her say that. Okay, that's true. It's possible.
It is possible.
But it's not likely.
Yeah, no. Because you watched the episode of Criminal Minds and now you know that that's possible.
Right.
So
breathe
funny.
in and out.
Yeah, I see that again because I've never seen a real person have a panic attack, but you see that on like TV shows, movies where they have them like breathe in the bag, But I've never seen that.
Like when people be hyperventilating.
Yeah, that.
I think that would just make me lightheaded or something.
Yeah, my breathing is always weird anyway, so I would like probably forget to breathe and pass out again.
You say, I'm out. I'm back.
That would be me because I would just be so true. I forget to breathe. I'm mad. And then I would just pass out again. Then the person probably be like, all right, forget it. We don't keep doing this word. So yeah.
You know what I realized too is like I get anxious. Is that anxiety?
What?
Like when things just don't add up. And people are trying to convince you that it's something, but it just don't add up. I be thinking like, why are we gonna keep going through this?
That could be a form of anxiety.
I think it might be.
Yeah.
I think it might be. I think it could be. Follow the 3-3-3 rule. So look around and name 3 things that you see, then name 3 sounds that you hear, and then move 3 parts of your body. So that sounds like a distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds hopeful if you're having that panic attack.
Yeah. Do something. Stand up, take a walk, throw away a piece of trash, interrupt your train of thought to get a sense of control. Stand up straight.
Hands on your knees. It sound like we was going.
Hands on your knees. Right,
right. I was like, okay, we doing cha-cha slide.
Stay away from sugar. Now look, they've gone too far.
How am I supposed to do that?
I was following this until I got to this.
Oh man, sugar.
Ask for a second opinion.
Mm.
That'll give you some of your perspective, right? Because
Yeah.
you're seeing things one way. Watch a funny video. Now, look, my problem with this is this with the whole watch funny video thing. It absolutely works, but then you must watch another.
Yeah, you go down a rabbit hole.
Another.
That's definitely me. My go-to is cartoons, though. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's what I do.
Absolutely.
No, those are good points to keep in mind. So if you're feeling anxious, do any of those.
What do you usually do? Like when you catch yourself feeling anxious?
I definitely label. I need to label this and get my thoughts together. Definitely talking to myself to get myself out of it. I like to stay in your time zone. I think telling myself, okay, well, what can I do right now? Like, what can I worry about today, right now, in this moment? I think will be helpful because I do worry about stuff that hasn't even come up yet that I have no control over. Right. Or I'll dwell on stuff that happened in the past. Like, that was so embarrassing. Like, oh my God. And then I'll be up all night thinking about it, beating myself up about something that happened 10 years ago. So it's just like, girl, that's already over with. Like, you can't do anything about that. So I think those are my go-tos that I like to use. For sure. Yeah.
Ooh, those are good. I like to think about it logically. Like, you're being a 4 right now. Like, that's usually what I tell myself. Like, 4 is a personality type on the Enneagram. And I'll be like, you're absolutely being a 4.
Oh, that's good.
Like, you're reel that 4 in a little bit. You know, you're going to the extreme.
Yes.
Calm thyself down.
Get off that ledge.
Get off that ledge.
Come on back.
Come on, reel it in.
Listen.
And then I remember this one time I heard Oprah say, like, just think of the next right step. So then I'll be like, okay, because a lot of times I think what eases my anxiety is if I feel like I can do something about it.
That's good.
So I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to schedule this meeting. I'm going to send this email. I'm going to do this, whatever. Or sometimes I just take a break. Like, there's some times where I'll be like, Control Delete. And I'll just go get on the treadmill and I'll watch an episode of Judge Faith or a clip of Wild 'N Out. Shouts out to Nick Cannon Presents Wild 'N Out for bringing the other day I watched a Family Feud when the lady did the mommy.
Oh Lord, mommy. Yes.
I watched that, and when I tell you that I thought I was going to die from laughing, then I had the nerve to find the clip from when they did Fast Money, and that was equally as funny as the mama.
I cannot.
Yes. Then and then here's where the rabbit hole, because then I had to go find the porcupine one. So shout out to Steve Harvey and Family Feud and all the amazing funny clips.
Hilarious.
So yeah,
I love it.
But yeah, I think it's just about centering yourself, and what I try to always ask myself is like, what will bring me peace? Like that's the question.
That's good.
That I have to ask myself and commit to being where the peace resides. Right, like when peace leaves, so do I.
Hey, exit stage left.
Right.
You
gotta go where the peace is. So if this ain't bringing me peace,
gotta go.
Or like, how can I what will make this peaceful for me? Right. If this happens, okay. Well, then what can I do to get that to do that?
I know that's right.
So
yeah,
because then it gives me. I think I'm very action oriented. Like I've always felt like I need to do something. Like with the whole playing thing, when y'all was like, just call them, because I couldn't change it on the site. And y'all were like, call them. I'm like, I call them.
There we go.
There it is, right? Like, I can call them.
Get to the solution.
I'm a good talker,
Always.
We can get on the same page here. I have a reasonable request.
Yeah.
Because I was going to tell them, look now, my sister has anxiety.
Listen.
You will be sorry if you send her on a plane anywhere by herself.
Yeah.
Please don't do that to me or her or your passengers. If you care about your passengers.
I don't even understand. Well, that's neither here nor there. But that whole thing, I was like, what was United doing? That was
girl, they was tripping.
Absolutely was.
They needed to fill up a plane.
Yeah, no.
And it wasn't full, so they dispersed it everywhere else is what they did. But it's all right. We got there.
We made
one piece.
Woo!
And we had the time of our lives.
We did. Had a blast.
So what goes into the to-go box?
Oh, man. Anxiety will try to have you being down and out, but don't let it take over. Use some of the strategies we mentioned on this episode. For me, it's labeling things, it's talking it out and staying in my time zone. But don't let anxiety take you out. And that's easier said than done for me because, I have anxiety here and there, but it's people really living with this day to day. So take it one day at a time and do the strategy that will help you in that day and in that moment.
Absolutely. And I would just add, seek professional help if you need it.
Oh, yeah.
Do that, try the technique, but as always, encourage people to get whatever they need to, be okay and be all right. And also like pay attention to what sets off your anxiety.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's just about choosing where to be and where to go.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation with one of my sorority sisters. She was just kind of talking about different things that were bringing her anxiety, and we were just like, look now, girl, you got to go where the peace is.
You got to like need you to remove yourself.
Right. In some cases, yeah, or find a way to do it in a way where you can be at peace, because you don't want something to keep setting you off, because at some point then it becomes your own fault, right? Like you got to be accountable for it.
Yeah.
So if I know that this is going to trigger me, then I need to stop choosing this thing.
Yeah, and even like you said for us, like sometimes we fail to plan things, and then we bring the anxiety on ourselves.
And bring it back.
Just,
girl, full circle, yes.
Full circle. Sometimes it's you. Yeah. Inducing the anxiety on yourself.
It's self-induced anxiety. Yes. Like you know what you're gonna get from. We know when we don't plan what's going to happen. So look, it's not the nail tech's fault that she didn't have no opening. It's your fault. It's not the nail artist's fault that she can't see you. It's your fault because you didn't plan appropriately. Look, it ain't your fault that this situation is bringing you anxiety. Look, you knew that this is what you was gonna get from this because it's what you got last time, the time before that, and the time before that. So stop choosing.
There we go. It ain't gonna change.
Oh, and then I told her, I was like, there was something that I saw was a long time ago, and it said, like if somebody like starts something with you, if you respond with that same energy, your spirit has agreed to participate.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's all I need to know, right? Stop choosing to participate in things that will make you anxious.
There we go.
If you can control it, right? There are some things on this list that's far beyond what you can control.
Yeah.
But there are some things that we can't control.
That's good. All right.
Thanks for tuning in to Brunch With Besties podcast. Until next time.
Peace.